Finally, the season 22 has ended, and right now it is the new beginning of season 23. Before the season 22 ended, the developer of Pokemon Unite has made lots of changes and adjustments on certain type of Pokemon. Not only that, they have also added some new Pokemons. Because of that, the meta in the season 23 has definitely changed a lot. And if you guys are confused about which Pokemon to pick or to buy for the solo ranking in this season, well, don't worry, because in this video, I will show you top 10 best Pokemon for the solo ranking in Pokemon Unite, which will be based on season 23 edition. Along with that, I will also show you their best build, battle item, boost emblem with some tips and tricks. By the way, if you guys are new here, make sure to subscribe to my channel so you can get more this type of Unite content. Now, without wasting any time, let's begin the video. In the number 10, we have a Pokemon from the all-rounder category, which is none other than the Mimikyu. You see, Mimikyu is one of the Pokemon which has the agility, mobility and pretty high damage dealing capabilities. With the moveset like Shadow Sneak and Play Rough, Mimikyu totally becomes like an assassin, because by using these two moveset, Mimikyu can mark only on a specific target and assassinate them. These two moveset are really useful if you want to take down the damage dealer of the opposing team first. You see, if you kill the damage dealer of the opposing team first, then definitely it will give your teammates little bit of upper hand in the team fight. So if you like to play like an assassin with Mimikyu, you can try out the Shadow Snake and Play Rough. But if you like to fight hand-to-hand combat from the close range, like a true all-rounder Pokemon, in that case you should definitely try out the Trick Room and Shadow Claw, because these two movesets are best for the hand-to-hand close range combat. Now some of the new players might be wondering whether it is hard to master Mimikyu or not. Well, to be honest, it is slightly difficult to master Mimikyu, because the mechanics of the Mimikyu is hard to understand, especially for the new players. But once you understand the mechanics of all the moveset, then it will be pretty easy for you to master Mimikyu. About the laning phase for the Mimikyu, well, you can either go in the central area or in the top lane. Anyways, this is the build that I use while playing Mimikyu. While using this build, always make sure to stack your attack weight for higher damage. Anyways, for the battle item, you can either take the eject button or the X attack. And this is the boost emblem that I would recommend you to use on Mimikyu. You can take a screenshot if you want. By the way, I want to give quick shout out to my channel members. Thank you so much for supporting me and joining my channel membership. I really appreciate it a lot. Anyways, it's time to move on to the next one. In the number 9, we have another Pokemon from the all-rounder category, which is none other than the Kung Fu Boy Urshifu. I don't know whether you know about this or not. In the patch note version 16.26, Urshifu got buff on the moveset Surging Strike. Because of that, he has managed to come back in the current meta. You see, Urshifu is one of the all-rounder which has the potential to carry the entire game by himself. He can literally do 1 vs 3 or 1 vs 4 if you know how to utilize his moveset correctly. Especially in the early game, Urshifu is super duper strong, because the power spikes of Urshifu comes in just level 5. You see, Urshifu is one of the all-rounder which has the durability, agility and high damage dealing capabilities. And in level 5, if you take the Surging Strike, you can totally dominate the enemies. Because as we all know that if you use the Surging Strike properly, you can use it almost unlimited times. Now without any doubt, in the current meta, Surging Strike and Liquidation are the best moveset for Urshifu. And to master Urshifu isn't really that difficult. You just need a quite a bit of practice and then you are good to go with the Urshifu. About the laning phase, I would definitely recommend you to go on the central area so that you can reach level 5 as soon as possible. And make sure to play super duper aggressive once you reach level 5. And try to invade the enemy's jungle as well, because it is really difficult to kill Urshifu in the early game. Anyways, this is the build that I use while playing Urshifu. This build is specifically designed only for the Surging Strike and Liquidation. Don't use it on the Wicked Blow and Throat Chop. For the battle item, always take the full heal, so that you can use the Surging Strike without getting disrupted by any kind of stun effect. And this is the boost emblem that I would recommend you to use on Urshifu. You can take screenshot if you want. In the number 8 we have a Pokemon from the Speedster category, which is the triple head Dodrio. As a Speedster by nature, Dodrio has the agility, mobility and very high burst damage dealing capabilities. Because of the good mobility of the Dodrio, it's become pretty easy to reach out to the backline of the opposing team and take down the damage dealer. Dodrio is one of the Pokemon which has the highest movement speed in Pokemon Unite. That is the reason why Dodrio can easily chase down the enemy or run away from the enemy. And with the Unite move, it's become even much more easier for the Dodrio to go wherever he wants. But there are some drawbacks of Dodrio as well. In order to use the boosted moveset of the Dodrio, you have to keep the boost experience gauge at the pull bar. And in order to keep it on the pull bar, you have to continuously keep on moving without stopping even for a millisecond. Otherwise, you won't be able to use your boosted moveset. That is why the reason Dodrio can be easily countered by the Pokemon which has stun effect. Other than this, Dodrio is a very good Pokemon which has the potential to carry the game. By the way, one more thing, Dodrio is considered as one of the most hardest Pokemon to master in Pokemon Unite. So if you are a new player, I won't suggest you to play Dodrio. About the best moveset for the Dodrio, well, all the moveset of Dodrio are really good. Anyways, this is the build that I use while playing Dodrio. For the battle item, always take the full heal so that you can immune the stun effect. And this is the boost emblem that I would recommend you to use on Dodrio. You can take screenshot if you want. In the number 7, we have another Pokemon from the Speedster category, which is none other than the Absol. Absol is one of the Pokemon which has the highest critical damage dealing capabilities in Pokemon Unite. The critical damage of the Absol is so deadly that it can literally deal one-shot damage to any Pokemon. His critical damage can even penetrate through the defense of any defender and supporter. Not only that, as a Speedster by nature, Absol has a very good mobility. Because of that, he can easily reach out to the damage dealer of the opposing team. Now some of you might be wondering that whether it is hard to master Absol or not. Well, to master Absol is in the medium level. Even if you are a new player in Pokemon Unite, you just need quite a bit of practice. About the laning page for the Absol, I would definitely recommend you to go on the central area. Anyways, this is the build that I use while playing Absol. For the battle item, always take the eject button. And this is the boost emblem that I would recommend you to use on Absol. You can take screenshot if you want. In the number 6, we have a Pokemon from the Speedster category, which is none other than the ghost Pokemon Gengar. Gengar is also considered as king of one-shot damage dealer. The special attack damage of the Gengar is so high that it can literally do one-shot damage in just blink of an eye. Especially with the moveset like Shadow Ball and Dream Eater, Gengar marks only on a single specific target. Because of that, the damage increases even much more. The only drawback that Gengar has is that he has low mobility as compared to other Speedster. But this drawback of Gengar can be compensated by using the Unite move. As we all know that when Gengar uses the Unite move, he becomes invisible for certain period of time. And during that time, he can easily go in the backline of the opposing team and take down the damage dealer. Now the question arises, whether it is hard to master Gengar or not. Well, to master Gengar is in the medium level. So even if you are a new player in Pokemon Unite, try to master Gengar. It will definitely help you to push your rank. By the way, remember this, Gengar is kinda weak in the early game. His power spikes comes when he reaches level 7. So in the early game, try to play little bit safe until you reach level 7. About the best moveset for the Gengar, well, all the moveset of Gengar are good, but I personally prefer Dream Eater and Shadow Ball. And this is the build that I use while playing Gengar. For the battle item, you can take the eject button. And this is the boost emblem that I would recommend you to use on Gengar. You can take screenshot if you want. In the number 5, we have another Pokemon from the Speedster category, which is none other than the evolution Leafeon. Leafeon might be one of the Pokemon which might have low HP and low durability. Because of these things, do not think Leafeon is a weak Pokemon. Leafeon is one of the Pokemon which has very high damage dealing capabilities. He can deal devastating damage to multiple targets in a single strike. The burst damage of the Leafeon is so high that it can even penetrate through the defense of any defender and supporter. Not only that, as a Speedster by nature, master, the mobility of the Leafeon is pretty high, which helps him to continuously change his position from one place to another and attack the enemy from unexpected direction. The power spikes of Leafeon comes when he reaches only level 6. Because of that, he can dominate the early game very effectively. Even the Unite move of the Leafeon get unlocked when he reaches only level 8. So that's why whenever you play Leafeon, I would always recommend you to play aggressively, especially in the early game. Now the main question arises, whether it is hard to master Leafeon or not. Well, Leafeon is also in the medium level, so without any hesitation, practice Leafeon. About the best moveset for the Leafeon, well, all the moveset of Leafeon are really good. Anyways, this is the build that I use while playing Leafeon. For the battle item, always take the eject button. And this is the boost emblem that I would recommend you to use on Leafeon. You can take screenshot if you want. In the number 4, we have a Pokemon from the all-rounder category, which is none other than the Karate Boy Blaziken. Blaziken is one of the all-rounder which has high durability, mobility and high damage dealing capabilities. And if you know how to utilize the moveset of the Blaziken properly, then there is a very high chance that you can easily do 1 vs 3 or 1 vs 4. Not only that, Blaziken is also considered as one of the best securer of objective like Regiliki, Regirock and Rayquaza. These are the reason why Blaziken is also being picked in the professional tournaments. Now again the question arises, whether it is hard to master Blaziken or not. Well, this time it is kinda hard to master Blaziken because you have to use all the 6 moveset of Blaziken while playing him. About the laning pace for the Blaziken, I would highly recommend you to go on the central area because while playing Blaziken, you need to reach level 8 as soon as possible. Anyways, this is the build that I use while playing Blaziken. For the battle item, always take the eject button. And this is the boost emblem that I would recommend you to use on Blaziken. You can take screenshot if you want. In the number 3, we have another Pokemon from the all-rounder category, which is none other than the cyborg Ceruledge. In the patch note version 16.10, Ceruledge received some nerf on the moveset like Bitter Blade, Psycho Cut and Phantom Dive. Because of that, lots of the players were thinking that Ceruledge has become weak and got out of meta. But that's not actually true. Even after receiving the nerf, Ceruledge is still strong as before. He is one of the Pokemon which has very high damage dealing capabilities. Especially with the Unite move, he can demolish whole team of the enemy instantly. So basically, there is a chance that you can do 1 vs 5 if you know how to utilize the moveset of the Ceruledge properly. Now the question arises whether the Ceruledge is hard to master or not. Well, it is slightly difficult to master Ceruledge because of the mechanic he has. About the best moveset for the Ceruledge, well, all the moveset of Ceruledge are good. Anyways, this is the build that I use while playing Ceruledge. For the battle item, always take the eject button. And this is the boost emblem that I would recommend you to use on Ceruledge. You can take screenshot if you want. In the number 2, we have the ghost type Pokemon Darkrai. Disclaimer, I'm not gonna use the gameplay clips of Darkrai because I haven't unlocked him yet. Anyways, back to the topic. When Darkrai was released for the first time in Pokemon Unite, he was super duper weak, and the developer also realized that he wasn't able to catch up in the meta. So after few days of being released, the developer gave an emergency buff to the Darkrai. Because of that emergency buff, Darkrai has become super strong in the current meta. I have fight against the Darkrai multiple times, and I genuinely feel like Darkrai is a broken Pokemon in the current meta. Sooner or later, the developer of Pokemon Unite gonna definitely nerf Darkrai. So before that happen, make sure to use Darkrai to push your rank. Anyways, this is the build that I would recommend you to use on Darkrai. For the battle item, you can use the eject button. And this is the boost emblem that I would recommend you to use on Darkrai. You can take screenshot if you want. In the number 1, we have a Pokemon from the Speedster category, which is none other than the King of Illusion Zoroark. I don't know whether you guys know about this or not. In the patch note version 16.26, Zoroark has received a buff on the moveset Pent Attack and Night Slash. Because of that, in the current season, Zoroark has become even much more stronger than before. I would say a broken Pokemon. If you know how to utilize the moveset of the Zoroark properly, then there is a very high chance that you can do 1 vs 5 clutch. Right now in the current season, I would say Zoroark is one of the best Pokemon for the solo ranking. He can literally carry the entire game by himself. But there is one problem. It is way too hard to master Zoroark. Zoroark is considered as one of the most hardest Pokemon to master in Pokemon Unite. So if you are a new player in Pokemon Unite, then I won't suggest you to play Zoroark. About the best moveset for the Zoroark, well, all the moveset of the Zoroark are good, but I personally prepare Shadow Claw and Pent Attack. Anyways, this is the build that I use while playing Zoroark. For the battle item, always take the full heal, and this is the boost emblem that I would recommend you to use on Zoroark. You can take screenshot if you want. So that's it for today guys, and if this video was helpful for you, please don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel.